Good day, everyone. Ella Llobrera and I, like Calina, will tackle the knowledge management in practice. Since we tackled for a long time that KM is an asset to an organization and it is already part of running and organizing companies and organization, Al Hamuade consider it as an emerging profession. It is not just collecting knowledge in and out of the organization, but it becomes the internal company function. And some of the company are giving it an opportunity to be separate management. But on the other hand, some companies and organizations are still looking at some point on KM, and others didn't pay much attention to it. So our topic sums up what is the aspect of KM profession and being a KM practitioners. We are all fascinated with the established profession like law, medicine, and engineering. And KM sector is new in the industry. As KM expands, it creates and evolves different professions and professional activities. And many people are looking forward to it. That's why schools and universities are offering this kind of courses that focuses on knowledge management. Many businesses and establishments are hiring people that have course in knowledge management or someone who focuses on studying it. In the degree of computer science, business management, cognitive psychology, and information science recognizes KM as part of their curriculum. After a great description that KM can offer, there are a lot of challenges that KM faces, and the first of them are the quantity over quality culture of a company or businesses. They are selling products and offering services without the right knowledge and just accept the aftermath regardless of the result, just to make product and service in a large amount of quantity. The most significant KM difficulty is that they disregarded the human and cultural factors. It is hard for the people to absorb the benefit of KM to a company if they just focus on the number of what they need to produce over the factors we need to consider before releasing. I want to testify to this challenge as I realized in my makeup career since I've been back in the hair and makeup industry a year ago. I can say that considering KM in business is a big factor. We must consider the type of event, the physical structure of the client, even their sensitivity, and also the time, date, and season, even the place we need to consider because there is a place that is hot and humid, and we need a hair and makeup that fights and hold against these instances. Let us now move on to the intellectual property issue. There are two aspects that must be addressed for KM applications. The first one is when discussing intellectual property, authorship, and even ownership of information to be uploaded and shared enterprise-wide, the issues must be clarified. If KM takes the necessary effort to guarantee that attribution or author credits are constantly associated with the knowledge and hence travel with it, then the majority of errors will be alleviated. The second one is similar, but virtually the exact opposite of attribution. Writers are also quite anxious that once the information leaves their control, it will be updated, diluted, invalidated, or somehow altered while still being credited to them. The formation of a copyleft revolution or backlash against some of the restriction imposed by copyright laws may potentially benefit the KM cause. Copyleft is more technically called Creative Commons and refers to a more individualized approach to author rights than more conventional copyright regulations. Copyleft does not go as far as this, but it does eliminate certain copyright limitations, making it simpler for others to use, alter, and adapt their original works. The following is a sample Creative Commons license permission. Number 1, with the attribution license. User must give credit to the original author of a work. All Creative Commons licenses have this option, but some licenses that are no longer valid did not have it. Number 2, authors can either let anyone change their work or use share alike or SA, a copyleft requirement that says any work must be licensed under the same license as the original. Number 3, no derivatives or ND means that the work can't be changed in any way. Number 4, non-commercial or NC means that the work can't be used to make money. The Creative Commons license has gained popularity in the academic community and has the potential to be used for organizational KM systems knowledge content.
Additional challenges for KM. Knowledge management is new to many corporations. That may be one of the reasons why there are some misinterpretations about the role of KM, especially with the presence of technology. According to Pollard 2003, failures are due to the false idea that human organizational behavior could be altered quickly and simply. Knowledge management also includes trial and error in order to create or discover information that may benefit to a company. There are 2 responses in different KM challenges based on failed applications of it. These are the proactive and reactive responses. Proactive response is reacting before the occurrence of an issue and able to prevent conflicts, while reactive response is reacting after the crisis had happened that can be supported via feedbacks inside or outside of an organization. This is also an attempt to predict what can be the future challenges, resistance to organizational changes, absence of incentives for knowledge sharing, and the complexity of ethical considerations with KM implementation. In part of this, being proactive is the most advisable response for many organizations. These are some suggestions on how KM experiences can be proactive. Number 1, with some improvement in the access of information and knowledge, especially of scientific information in developing countries, there can be a huge difference in the behavior, approaches, and mindset of people when it comes to different situations that can be prevented before something happens. Another suggestion is promoting information sharing through different methods like learning from different group of people or peer-to-peer learning, knowledge networks, internet companies that gathers and link information, help desks, e-learning, and improvement in engagement together with mutual learning with target groups. With this, there can be a prevention of countless possible crises that a company may encounter in the future. Next is, there are also numerous platforms and methods on how to effectively assist organizations on being proactive. These are considering networking and international and regional cooperation, including networking models, digital solidarity, collaboration tools such as portals and common language and network effectiveness, as well as the reinforcement of existing organizations and knowledge resource centers, including the production of local content in local languages and distribution methods other than the internet, capacity building, quality control, and standards. Finally, avoiding ineffective incentives which does not stimulate proper and maximize effort of employees because of many uncertainties is another suggestion enabled to be a proactive organization. KM and innovation. One of the main purposes why knowledge management exists is to learn from the past experiences of an organization or their employee. With proper storage of information from their tacit knowledge, there can be a huge success of innovation capabilities of a corporate company. Tacit can have a huge part in forming an explicit knowledge. According to Duplessis 2007, innovation is continued to develop rapidly because of the advancement of technology, shorter product life cycles, and faster rate of new product and services creation. Duplessis also notes that the academic and practitioner literature on the role that KM do in innovation lacks clarity. This may be because of improper implementation and wrong interpretations that are still present in our days, which leads some of the companies to have lack of clarity which affects to the accomplishments of innovations as well. Duplessis also defined innovation as the invention of new information and ideas to support new business results, to enhance internal business processes and structures, and develop market-driven goods and services. As I've said, knowledge management requires trial and errors to create an effective information which will benefit to many business or companies. That explains why Duplessis explains that KM is not directly focused on innovation as an outcome but rather to create an environment that can be favorable to innovation itself. In order to achieve better innovation, knowledge can also be recorded with proper and wide access of organization for a better and well-done performance of a company. However, there are still less empirical data to give examples, case studies, and best practices that were stored. In any cases, there can still be developing details which can give solution on how to store and make knowledge accessible to knowledge workers or an organization. Not to mention that knowledge management is new to the adaptive industries worldwide, and there are KM practitioners that are well positioned to be excellent innovation converners, and KM professionals that are good at identifying and managing tacit knowledge, which also plays a vital role in creative processes of knowledge management. Let's look forward on how and what will be the maturity and development of knowledge management that will be a tool for advantages of a certain company in the future. And that is all for the topic entitled Knowledge Management in Practice, reported by Ms. Calina and I, Ms. Ella Llobrera. Before we end this video, allow us to remind everyone that if there is no struggle, there is no progress by Frederick Douglass. Have a nice, great, and blessed day ahead.